Kindergarten All-Stars, it's Mr. Bowen here. I'm gonna do my very first ever classroom setup video. I've never done anything like this before. The only time I've ever done a classroom setup was just to show the layout. So this is my first time entering in my classroom for, 3 months? I've lost track of time. Our principal sent us a message, sent us an email yesterday saying don't freak out when you see your rooms. So I was prepared to see a mess or see things just everywhere. And I don't know what he's talking about, because I came in and, I've got 20 desks and I've got furniture and everything's nice and clean and put away right exactly where I left it. So I'm very happy, pleasantly surprised. So the plan for day one for setup is to just get the layout. Just get the layout of the furniture, figure out where I want everything, and then tomorrow really start diving into like sorting and organizing everything and put stuff where it needs to go, and just figure out a system and a plan for how I'm going to do everything. So I don't know, I'm planning on staying here for the full time, but maybe I won't need to, just after coming in and seeing how like everything is still pretty well set up. So here we go. Setup day one. We'll see how things go, see how the layout goes. Plan is to just really kind of keep the classroom wide open, the space wide open, so I have enough room to like space out desks. They want us to have desks in rows, which is not kindergarten friendly, but those are the health guidelines. So I got to get 20 desks, space them out. They're not going to be 6 feet apart. They don't require us to make them 6 feet apart, because we're doing what's called cohorting, where you stay in your class the full day. You don't really go anywhere else, with the exception of go to recess and then go home. So that is their plan. I don't know the full number of what my class number is what my class list is gonna look like. We're still looking to see who all signs up for our virtual option. And my principal has said that we're looking at about 20 at the most, which would be amazing, because last year I had 26 and then lost one and went to 25. I lost one and then added one. Anyway, so I think I can do it. I think with 20 desks, I can do it. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be everything that I would expect in a normal kindergarten year, but we know that this is not going to be a normal year. So let's get started. Let's do some work. Couple things. Let me just say, I love having furniture that's on wheels. Second thing, I need a fan in this room or I'm not going to last half the day. I am sweating, drenched in sweat, and I've only been here for 15 minutes. Before I get too far in, I wanted to show everybody what the room looks like now. I did a little bit already. I obviously took down the plastic bags from my bulletin boards. I haven't taken down anything over there. They let us keep up our bulletin boards because as long as we have them covered up, they don't get sun damage. And these windows have has a glare protection, so the sun isn't very blaring through the windows. So anyway, this is what their room looks like right now. I have 20 desks, like I said before. The other few things that I did do is this, my kidney-shaped table, or I guess it's not really kidney-shaped table, it's U-shaped, was over there, and my computer desk was sitting over there. So I haven't done a whole lot too far, but my plan is to take my kidney-shaped table, put it back in my this little enclave over here. I will be doing some small group. They're going to let us do small groups, but I'm gonna keep them separated every other seat. And my library, I'm thinking, is probably going to go back over there in the corner. And I'll have bins along here for centers, for individual centers. And I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to put their individual workshop folders. I'm guess I'm going to have to just put them inside their desks. Originally, my plan was to have lap desks so that there could be more room. But since it turns out we're not going to have near as many kids as we thought we were going to have, I should be okay with having student desks, since they're not requiring us to have it obviously 6 feet apart, because that would be impossible. So I'm going to try and space out the desks as well to be as far apart as possible, and just kind of line everything along the walls. And like I said, have a big space for student desks. So here we go. Hopefully I can survive this heat, because there is no AC in here and I am dying. Shining like a work of art, hanging on a wall of stars. Are you what I think you are? You're now. I've got the desks pretty well spaced out. I might do some adjustments here and there, but I think I've got everything pretty much set up the way, furniture-wise, that I want it right now. Funny enough, it's actually not much different than what I did last year, except the desks are arranged in rows, which hurts my brain very much. We got this new book shelf thing. I don't really know what you'd call it yet. I've got some ideas on what I'm going to use it for. This is not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a one of those theater style looking bookshelves where you can hold a bunch of read alouds. But unfortunately, that's not what I got. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this. Got some ideas, but this is where it's going to be right now. Before, this is where this is where my writing center was before. I don't think you can really do a writing center now, because everything's got to be individualized at their desks. I got a bunch of chairs that were labeled, over here. I got a bunch of chairs that were labeled room 8 that I got to move over, and I got a couple extra desks because we are supposed to have at max 20 desks. So I've got one desk back there that's sitting on my back shelf, and I've got one desk here that's just an extra, so I'm going to get rid of that. And this is it so far. I'm only been here not that long, and I've gotten quite a bit done. I'm very pleased with my progress, so I'm gonna move some of the things out of my room that doesn't belong, maybe go run and get something to eat and come back and chug along, get some more work done. See how much I can get done today, because they only let us here until 4, and then we have to get out. So all right, this is what it looks like so far. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention is, I'm sure you've seen on my website, for those that follow my website, which is kindergarten-allstars.com. I in previous years, I have used these crate seats with cushions for my library. I cannot use them this year. So these are coming home with me, and looks like my little children get to enjoy them this year. And I'm kind of sad about that, but it is what it is. So this is what I got done so far. I'm sure there'll be a little few adjustments here and there with the desks, but yeah, it's coming along nicely. All right, so I moved those I moved those 3 crate seats that I had used for my library last year out and back to my car. They're going home. And I brought in some stuff that I bought. I'm gonna show you what I bought here. Let me turn it around. So I bought these from Target, those yellow and orange bins, which I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to use those for yet. And then these are individual storage containers that I'm going to use for my students' math kits. So I brought those in. I also went and finally, it's upside down, but I purchased a Rolly tray cart because I love these things and they're amazing, and I've been wanting one for quite some time. And the one that I have is really not supposed to be mine. It's an extra that may go to one of the classrooms that we're adding to our school this year. It's a nice Rolly cart, but I can't rely on being able to keep it this year. So yeah, so I brought some stuff in. Now I'm going to re-put together my library and maybe get some things out onto shelves for some extra centers. But the reason I bought these tubs is I think I'm going to put individual shared centers that other students can use into these tubs. And if they use them, they have to take the tub out and put it over in the needs to wash area. And then at the end of the day, those centers will get washed and put back. So instead of everybody just grabbing bags and stuff and grabbing the puzzle boxes, the centers will be in these tubs, and I can just have a space for them to be washed. So let's work on the classroom library, shall we? Whistling our favorite tune, trying to get a closer view. You're my satellite. You're riding with me tonight. Passenger side, lighting the sky. Always the first star that I find. You're my satellite. Maybe you will always be just a little love. All right, so I did a little bit more than the library, as you can see. I organized the library, put the books out for the library, got them in a way that I feel that is nice and neat. Then I put those colored bins on the shelf, on that shelf that I showed you, and then I put puzzles in those bins. because even though we can't do shared centers or whatever, if students pick one of those bins and use them during the day, I will have a space for materials and centers that need to be washed or sanitized. So then I also took down the old reward sticker charts that I had up, so I can have space to put new ones up there. And I also took down the rules that we had come together to develop as a class. As you can see behind me, right there, there's what I call classroom guidelines, which are just some positive statements of things that students are expected to do in the class. And we use those guidelines to come up with an essential agreement as a class of what the rules are. And we use each guideline as a starting point for what the rule is going to be. So I took down last year's rules, and this year, when our first day as a class, we're going to develop our classroom rules as we call it, an essential agreement. And so I took that down. So I'm gonna go to lunch. When I come back, I've gotten a lot done, so I'm not sure how much more I'm gonna do. I'm thinking that I might start, if I feel up to it, I'm thinking I might start developing some of the math kits. I might get some more of the my leveled books back out on the counter, kind of go through that stuff, see what I can get set up there. Because I found out today that I am also I'm presenting professional development for 3 sessions of our Back to School Summit. It's on Seesaw, and so I won't have the time during the virtual summit to listen and do work in the classroom. I will be presenting, so I'm trying to get as much done during these days that we don't have, that we're not required to be here yet. I'm trying to get as much done during these days so that when the summit happens, I'm not strapped for time because I'm presenting while people are able to listen and work in their classrooms. So anyway, that was rambling. I'm gonna go to lunch and we'll see what I decide to do when I come back. Okay, so I'm back from lunch. Excuse me. I think I am going to, I changed my mind. I thought I was gonna work on math, the math kits for my students, but I have decided that I'm going to work on getting my leveled books in this area set out for my guided reading. Because we are allowed to do guided reading. We have to keep them small though, and we have to keep them as seated far from each other as possible. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna have at this table them spaced out around the table, and if the numbers turn out to be even the max, I can have 4 in each of their reading groups, so then I can just call 4 at a time, and that'll be good. So I'm gonna work on this area and getting the guided reading area a little bit more organized. going to show everybody what my room looks like now. I did obviously a lot today, and a lot more than I was mentioning that I was going to do. So here's my storage room. That's a little bit of a mess. I'm going to have to reorganize it. I did take some stuff out to put on my shelves. These are back in here, these personal like lockers, I guess you'd call them, but they're not really lockers. So as we walk in, there's a little bit of a math manipulative mess. So that was the last time-lapse video that I did. So an issue that I ran into was, my plan was to have these math kits have everything that they were going to need. But unfortunately, they're a bit smaller. Oops, and this one needs to have the blue and red and blue counters be put in. But they're a bit smaller than what I was originally planning. As you can see, everything's kind of stuffed in there. So what I did was I put the basics of what they're going to need for our math program to start out. We start out with number sense and working on the number line and the number parade. And so I've got these individual number cards. They're two-sided, the number, and it shows the number of dots on the back. And to complement that, there's some of these red and blue square counters that are in there, but I also wanted to do two-sided dot counters as well that kind of go along with it. So this is their math kits for what they have, at least for the beginning of the year. I might have to take out some things and whatnot, but this is their individual math kit, so they don't have to worry about sharing math supplies. I have other shared math manipulatives that I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an option for if they need something, that I will have them take some, and then there will be a place for the math manipulatives to be put, that are going to have to be a place for them to be sanitized later on. I'm not really sure. It's not a perfect solution, but it's the best that I can come up with right now. So there's that. What you saw me do over here was a lot of frustration, because I'm trying to figure out how to make it so that each student has their own individual bin of an extra center that they can use. And I'm trying to find a place to put all of them. So originally I was going to put tubs right here, but now I'm not sure if I want them there. I then put them over here, but I don't have enough for 20. If I'm going to have 20 students, there's only 15. And if you notice, the bins are a different color on the bottom, so that bugs me a little bit. So that I might have to go to Dollar Tree and get some more of the same color for each row. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I have no idea what I'm using this for yet. It seems like it seems like it could be useful if I could figure out what I'm going to use it for. So you saw me work on my guided reading area. I got a little bit done over here, mostly the leveled books. I got them back out. I had to organize some of them. This is our reading programs, leveled readers. I use some of those. There's the instructional cards. And then over here is my Reading A to Z books, which I printed out many years ago, lots of them, and I had to resort some of them because they were all discombobulated, but it starts with AA, and then it goes all the way up. Here's A, and then I ran out of room, so it goes down to level B, and so they're getting a little kind of flimsy and old, so I might have to reprint some of them. And then over here are extra leveled reader books that I'm going to put in students' book bags when it comes time for them to have their own individual book bags. And again, since they can't share anything, these will have to stay in their book bags, and when they're done, they'll have to come out and be quarantined for 72 hours. Here's So again, this is why like everything is kind of set over here. They won't be able to easy access it themselves. So that's what you saw me work on over here. These are more books that are gonna be put into their book bags that they can individually have. Again, they cannot just come over here and grab what they want and then read it and put it back based on their level, which is what I used to do. Now they're gonna have to have individual book bags. And so this is where they're gonna stay right now. Classroom library, I had to change it up a couple times because I've kept finding more library books of my classroom library. They can't sit over here like they used to and sit and read in the classroom library. Any book that they want to get, they come over and they take it, they read it, and then there's going to be an extra bin. There's going to be a lot of like bins that are going to be like needs to be clean. So there's probably going to be a needs to be clean library bin. There's going to be a needs to be clean math manipulative bin, and there's going to be a needs to be cleaned puzzle area bin. This space is kind of, I'm still working on it, but this is what I've got so far. And so yeah, this is what I've done all today. There's still a lot to do, but I feel very good about the place that I'm at right now. So, all right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for classroom setup day 2.